West Jefferson had the most crashes with 5. One of the 3 reported hit and run crashes was solved with the driver being identified and cited. One of the hit and run crashes was closed due to insufficient evidence, and the 3rd remains under investigation. Deputies made 70 traffic stops, issued 54 citations. 21 of them were for moving violations, 4 seatbelt, and 21 for non-moving citations, non-moving offenses. We had 1 new dumping complaint in January that is being followed up on environmental. And total calls for service were 630, generated 143 reports, 27 requests for forensic services. They made 7 felony arrests, 9 misdemeanor arrests. I'm going to start putting in a stat here called crime prevention, COP, and there's 537 of those for the month of January. And what that is proactive patrols, patrols being conducted at the request of residents in certain areas where, for this or that, speeding cars, that type of thing. So those are where deputies actually put themselves on a call in an area to be responsive to a complaint that has been generated or doing outright proactive patrol. 29 alarm checks, 17 animal complaints, 15 domestics, and 17 welfare checks. Our cruiser repairs have been made on that new car that was damaged in shipping. Something to do with the way the carrier hooked it up. So that's done. We're putting the finishing touches on making that roadworthy with the lights and radios and such, so I expect that to be hitting the streets any day now. And then one additional thing I'll mention that as part of our traffic and forensic unit, we also have a drone that we use for some urban search and rescue type things, as well as mapping scenes from overhead. But we did add a 2nd drone to our fleet up here. SWAT has changed over to a smaller type drone, so we were able to acquire that 2nd matching drone that they had to what we already had on hand here. So now we'll have 2 drones and 2 operators that can go out and fly those right now if we need to put them off or something. They got cameras on them and things like that. So and that's all I have.
I think a licensed operator, he has to be licensed, right?
If you use it for anything commercial, yes, it requires it's called a 107 form, and you got to go. St. Clair's where we go. But, I think you can even take those online.
I have a question. First of all, did you apply for the grant, the little grant, or who applied for that?
That was the township. No, I did assist with the application, but that's actually a township grant, or the township is what's eligible for the grant.
Okay, also, but nobody specifically applied for it, they just.
Steve Wolf and I did the application
Okay, so
on behalf of
Steve-
Jefferson Township.
Okay, I was trying to figure out, because I think they're asking, this will go into that. So where it produces that, the reconics, okay, because we're trying to figure out with that camera situation.
There's 2 situations on the camera, so.
Okay,
Yeah, one is a stolen set of the original cameras
okay,
that were insured, and there was supposed to have been an insurance check that came back for them.
right,
So that would be, there's a quote there to replace the 2 boxes and the 2 cameras.
right.
And then everything that's on that grant would be new, in addition to
In addition, okay.
those. So they're two separates.
Okay, good. I was trying to figure
So I
out.
didn't see on the grant where it spelled out the paperwork I have, so somebody's holding the paperwork and never got it to me. When you guys applied for it, I needed to see that paperwork. All I have is what the result was. So again, I never got past the paperwork.
So do you have the paperwork, because we need to get that from Tracy to put it in,
Because the paperwork would tell me what we have to order, right?
No,
Oh.
so we ballparked what a grant of 5,000 would cover.
Okay.
So what I would do is, as long as we're accepting it, what I'll do is I'll get a quote for that equipment and I'll send to you. I think it was for 5 new cameras,
yeah.
5 new security boxes, and cellular for everything that we have, including the old cameras. So if we're gonna move forward and accept that, I'll get that quote and I'll push that
I
out.
think we've already signed the paperwork.
That's fine, that's fine, that's
Okay,
fine. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
that's it, yeah.
So, yeah, I'll get that and I'll send you over the original packet.
Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Good, good. Okay, that's all I have for
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there is no other departments here besides the road department. So for the road department, been a little bit busy. Captain Flag did get me on the call list. I've got a situation to 2 different weekends. I'm not calling the guys in, and I talked to them about that. I'm not trying to take their time, I'm not trying to take work away from them. They both have a half-hour drive to get here. So trees being down, we've got to call this tree down and get taken care of. We had issues with salt delivery, and finally got that, finally made 20 phone calls and got that figured out. We were almost out of salt at one point in time, we were really low. But I talked to it wasn't the same as it was several years ago when I was doing it. And, but I've got that delivery problem taken care of, we got the bugs worked out of it, and we should be okay with that. We had the Department of Agriculture come in town and perform an inspection on our spray operations, and we passed. And verified that my license is good, and we need to work on getting, they're gonna be doing some classes here in this building, and we need to get some more guys certified to be able to spray. We did have a funeral in the cemetery up there on Route 4. And of course, they did it on that Tuesday when we had all that rain and there's some bad ruts. I located a spot for him. The funeral director called me, gave me the lot number, and that, of course, matched, thank goodness, it matched the name on the headstone. So I located that, put a cone on there for the digger guy. And I tried to talk to the funeral director and moved it to Wednesday, but they did that in the rain. And so if you drive up down and see that cemetery there, there's some ruts in there, but he gave me a verbal, he's gonna come back and do some restoration there for us. We did have a cremation that we had to take care of. What?
You mean the indigent burial?
Yes.
I saw I have 2 of them. Was that one you gave me, the mistaken one, or was on Germantown? Was that a mistaken one that I was to see a date? And then you gave me one from our contracted one, Baker Snyder.
Yes, and the one's a mistake.
So that one's a mistake?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, being that I'm back over roads, I'm kind of getting educated in the asphalt, and I took a class at the OTA, and I took another class today, and basically just learning how to make our dollars go farther instead of you always, well, that road's bad, rip it out, and put new down. And just hearing the different possibilities and the different procedures that are out there, getting educated on other ways to maintain our roads. I had talked to the Montgomery County Soil and Water, who does our MS4 permit. That's a stormwater permit, everybody has to have them. I'm very familiar with that process and project, and I spoke with them on that, and that's been taken care of. It's all that for the road department, that's what I did for you with tax dollars.
I have a comment.
Talk to me.
Make sure in July, you mentioned about the salt, that's when you were supposed to put in.
Yes, our contract.
I don't know if you have the contact point to use.
Yes,
so
I
that
do.
you get that form. Okay.
Yes, I've already taken care of, yes, I've already contacted about that, so, I'll probably contact her before then,
Yeah.
but yeah, our contract's up for renewal this year.
Every year, it does, every year in July.
This one was a 2-year contract, one we are now.
Oh, maybe it was.
The one we're on now is a 2-year contract.
Okay, so but it is this year then?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Just so we make sure we get it, because one time we almost didn't get it, so,
But, yes, no, that's not gonna happen.
yeah.
Okay, which one do you two wanna go first? Whoever, Sheila and Jim, you wanna do your report?
Go ahead, Jim.
We've got 13 residents hired a law firm to force Mr. Roush to step up his compliance with code enforcement. This is going to impact the residents in the triangle of like Frytown, Silverstone, West Carrollton, and I guess the Germantown area right up towards the top there. if somebody can reach out to me if they want to copy the complaint or they want to have something to say to this law firm. But basically, they're complaining about the intensity of the operation, stuff we've heard at the meeting, like mud on the road or debris from the trucks and so forth. We're indirectly involved, but they copied us on their filing, but the residents up there stepped up, and we've got a lot of, that's right on the border of some of our residents, right in there. They're in and out of Dayton up in that area. So if anybody wants anything, they can give me a call. That's all I have.
There were, Tracy and I pretty much had got all the paperwork submitted for the tanker truck. It's just some minor things that Tracy will probably end up having to do.
No, we're done with the paperwork. Mike signed it on one form. I signed it actually, then Mike signed it. So we're gonna have 2 copies of it, as long as they got it. It's just now waiting for the truck to come in. I think we're all ready, it's all set up. We got to finalize contracts and the records. We just have to wait. And I guess they'll send us to say your truck is coming, or contact somebody, probably.
Yeah. So that's been taken care of. Secured the IT company by the February 28th deadline. Tracy actually has been helping my email. I had been having serious email issues, so it was a lot of stuff that I missed. So Tracy picked up some things, specifically this demo project that I talked with the land bank. There's a resident that wants to buy some property that's on the demo property, list. And so we've been working with Susan from Miami Valley Land Bank to try to get some things addressed. Mr. Jefferson, I'm just gonna say his last name. He actually submitted, or I think he gave you some other files that should have been submitted a long time ago, but we have them, got them turned in. She's supposed to be getting back with us to make sure that they have everything that they need to move forward. Let's see what else did I do. Okay, I completed the insurance claim for a lightning strike. We were able to get the money for that. So that minus the deductible, so we were able to get that. I also am completing this Old Tarma insurance renewal. Both the fire department and the road department has an inventory list that they need to go over, and then once they're done, they need to submit it to me, but I need to get this form in by the 10th. So I'm pretty much done with form, but I'm just waiting to finish up a couple more things. Let's see. Mike, how was the asphalt video?
Good.
Let's see, Mike was able to get the mailboxes in. I checked them, everything was working good. Has anybody got mail out of it yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Our mailbox got full just one day, and so they stuffed the rest of it in the county's mailbox. And then they sent me a note and said, well, we got your mail, you probably got ours. We're gonna have to talk to the post office, or we're gonna have to get a bigger box. That was one day.
I'd say it'd be a one-time event, just because of the fact that, there's a note up there that mail's been coming up missing. If they couldn't find us, they wouldn't deliver it. So I bet that's why it was backed up and the box became full.
No, what they have been doing is bringing, my daughter works at the post office. They've been bringing a basket of mail and giving it to somebody in here and let us sort it. Now they're up there grumbling in the office because now they have to sort it. That's what's going on. I already know I got inside scoop.
Okay,
So I've been working, trying to, work with, Assistant Chief Wilcox about trying to get the fire department's mail sent to the fire department and not here. And so we're working on it. Again, Tracy's, daughter works at the post office, so we have to see how that ends out. MDRPC, it's another survey that I gotta do, and I'm working on that survey. And, we were able to get the letter together, for the police officer that was, that requested it. And, Shante, well, the group that came last week, what is it? We are
no builders.
builders.
Yes.
She sent me an email, I forwarded it to you trustees. I think she was under, the impression that we were going to go in and bring our dump trucks and jump in and help them out, and I let her know that, due to liability, we can't do those things. We'll provide, give her some resources. But a question for you, she wanted to know, something about, oh, she put it in here, something about the inmates coming and helping clean up. Have you talked to anybody about that?
No, and depending on the scale of the project, it could be problematic because STOP program is where we used to get our inmate workers from, and they have shut down operations.
Okay.
So we're fighting for outside workers just to staff the ODOT and the Montgomery County Solid Waste litter crews. I'm not saying it's impossible, we can definitely look at it, but we're really short on inmate workers.
Because of the COVID?
COVID's what started it, and then, the jail kind of went to keeping the worst of the worst and letting some of the minor things go so that everybody wasn't, with COVID, we were keeping the numbers down in the jail. And right now, most of what we have in there is, felons that we can't put on an outside crew, so.
Well, she said this, and so she also included in there, like, inmate workers. So it's a time frame between March 1st and April the 8th that, they want to see if they can come between that time, because they know no one else can be around when that.
And where's it at?
It is at the old Ratcliffe School.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I'll do is, I will forward you this, that way you can kind of see, but I did let her know that due to liability reasons, we can't, do some of this.
Well, she called me, she was fishing for funding, manpower and all that, and I was very specific. I said, we're not against the idea, but it has to come past the trustees. So, and during that conversation, I said, well, the inmates are out here, but I don't know what we can and can't do with that property. I guess, now that we know that we've got a property owner that we can contact though, at least we got a place to kind of channel some of the complaints that we get about that. My vibe from the conversation there is they're still trying to figure out how to fund this thing and get it going.
Yeah, she said she had tried to call you several times, she hasn't gotten a call back, so, she's been emailing me. I think that's it.
Okay, so, I would go ahead and adjourn. I just want to, we have a couple new residents in here. And, we've done away with, not that we don't want to hear from you, but it's just a different format we can conduct the meetings in that we don't have comments by citizens, that page long or paragraph long stuff on the agenda, all that. So what going forward, you raise your, like back in school, you raise your hand, and you gotta give your name for the record, and then give your piece. So, go ahead.
Marion Perry, 5140 Altram Road. Mainly, thank you, Andy, for the speed thing. But mainly, I'm still concerned about one house that is on our street that needs to be torn down. And my question is, when you mentioned land bank, are they gonna buy the property and do something with it?
Which one, what's that?
59.
59, is that the one that?
That's
They
the
put a
one-
lot of-
Somebody wants to buy that property,
That's the
so
right
that's
one.
why we're working through land bank to see if they can kind of help them out.
Yes.
That's gonna be interesting, because they keep on, said persons next door to them,
Right, well,
keep on parking their stuff in that.
right, well, this individual said as soon as they are able to acquire that property, they will stop that.
Okay.
Okay. You good? Good? Don't say anything?
Cindy Evans Lawson, 801 Calumet Lane, also 129 Calumet. Drugs on Calumet. I mean, it's just an everyday, all
I
day
think
thing.
Captain mentioned there's been an
Yes,
increase
yeah.
on the Calumet, so it sounds like they're on it, they're trying to work on it, so.
Always.
One's in prison for a while, or jail for a while.
Oh, you mean Jack? It just means his house is busier. He was the same one.
It's actually, it is busy, but it has been busier in a somewhat different way. Because we've been out there on several calls to remove individuals from the property and such, so.
Yeah, because of his daughter.
Yeah, it's, but it's,
Yeah, but now little Johnny's living there. Oh, sorry.
2 moved out, 1 moved in.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens.
Yeah, right.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
I second.
Roll call on adjournment, please. Settlers?
Trustee McGuire,
Yes.
trustee McLaughlin,
Yes,
trustee Bell.
Yes.
we were adjourned at 8:32.
Wow.
We have found to go,
Which dog?
the pit bull that was constantly running the neighborhood.
Now, who's living next door to my rental?
We got an account at Becker's. Down
They got a
there.
pit bull too. I just rented my rental.
Did you?
Yeah, to a real nice young couple. They're pregnant. And the pit bull next door keeps getting in their yard.
He said we got.
The girl is very new pregnant, so she's a little, but I mean, she has a pit. She's not afraid of a pit, she's afraid that,
Pits are getting out of line.
yeah. Yeah, and that she won't be able to bring them up.
She should.
Right, she shouldn't have to worry about it.
In her condition, that's not.
Right, especially first trimester, you know how scary that is. So, but yeah, I just talked to John's grandma yesterday, and she said, oh yeah, here he's living.
I don't think that thing
He's
was
a
loaded on the
Jackson.
trailer the way they're talking.
We did a search warrant there.
Again,
But some of these electricians.
yeah, see, my case on them was closed.
I mean, it doesn't, if it's just a ballast issue.
I don't have to mess with them.
You've got basic.
Front door. Heating up there. It's companies, I mean, it's a revolving door. Who is in, who is out.
Well, when he first got
Okay, that's what we want to start.